Want you, need you, it's the call of the wild. Something animal more than physical. Satisfy me cause I'm falling apart. Synchronicity.
This is going to be my 2012 best of favorites, and I know I am late. I'm probably going to be like one of the last people to upload a video like this, but I really don't care. So I put myself through the arduous task of rewatching all my past favorites videos, and I really want to kick myself in the ass because in my early videos, well, first of all, my videos all tend to be really long because I talk too much. And I didn't list in the info box individual items. Yes. I did a December favorites because there were some new things that I tried that I actually did like for the month that I didn't use the whole year. And so this video is basically going to be me honestly revisiting and bringing back up things that I did use throughout 2012, possibly through the end of the year. If you're new to my favorites videos, they do tend to be long. So, kind of as a convenience for you, I will link down below all the individual items. Yes. Within 24 hours of me uploading this, by midnight that day, all the individual items will be listed with links where you could possibly purchase the items. And then I am going to quickly scroll. I know I'm going to want to kick myself as I'm editing this, doing the annotations and stuff. But I'm going to quickly have a music moment and scroll for you guys the different brands and topics that I'm going to talk about.
Chemistry. I'm a woman, not a siren calling. It's only natural for me to want your loving.
That is enough of that. And then also, in my favorite videos, I always have the categories listed. So if I'm on a category that you're not interested in, you can basically just fast forward. And also, just because most people who watch these videos, you're really only interested in like, or you mostly might be interested in like the makeup stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way first, just in case you're only here for that, and you don't want to waste another 30 minutes of your life listening to me talk about other random crap. Like I said, the first category I'm going to do is makeup, and I'm going to start with eye makeup products. And this first thing has to be like my all-time favorite eye makeup remover. And this is actually a little trial size that you would get like in a gift promotion or something. But it's the Lancome Bifacil. And this is a two-phase eye makeup remover that you would shake. There's like a liquid and an oil based on top. This stuff gets all your eye makeup off, even like stubborn waterproof eye makeup. And we even use this at work. I work in a cosmetics department in a department store, and we actually do use this to remove makeup off of our clothing. One time at my work, I dropped a bottle of Double Wear foundation by Estee Lauder, and that stuff sticks and it stains all over my black skirt. And I was actually able to remove, I would say probably about 80% of it off of my skirt before it would permanently stain it. These next two things I got off of Holt Look. And if you're not familiar with Holt Look, I'll put a link down below. It's like a flash website that offers, you know, high-end brands and also not so high-end brands. And flash sales that normally last for like 48 to 72 hours, where you can buy things that are heavily discounted, and normally the quantities are very limited. But once a month they have a sale on e.l.f. Cosmetics, and the next two things are these two 32-piece shadow palettes. This is the warm palette, and this is the cool palette. And these, I think, regularly sell for either $5 or $10, I'm not sure, but I was actually able to get these off Julep for $3.50. I have an e.l.f. cosmetic review if you want like a more in-depth review. I'm not going to do any swatches in this video because I already know this video is going to be long enough, but honestly, if you go back through my favorites where I do talk about these products individually, you can get the swatches and all that stuff from there. If you look on my tutorials playlist, I have a whole series called e.l.f. whatever, Shadow Look for Less, and they're basically all eye looks that I create by using these palettes. So these next two things, or really it's one product, I demoed in my very first haul, my Sephora haul / makeup tutorial video back from April of last year. This product, you see good reviews on YouTube, but then you see some very bad reviews. Honestly, this is like my holy grail mascara routine, and I do incorporate a couple of extra steps when I use this. But if you ever look at my lashes and if they seem really long in a video, because my lashes are non-existent, they are not long at all, they're short and they're straight and they stick just straight down, it's because I've used this. And this is the Too Faced Better Than False Lashes Nylon Lash Extension System. This is the mascara, basically the first and the third step. And then the second step is this primer, and it actually has little white hairs, little nylon fibers. It's $35, which I've heard some people say it's expensive, but honestly, if you use a higher end mascara and a primer, I mean, even if you use Clinique's primer, which I think is $14, between $14 and $16, we'll just say $15. And if you use like one of their mascaras, the mascaras are $16, almost the same price. Now, if you've watched me from the beginning, you've seen that I've kind of gone through 3 different eyebrow looks because I basically went through 3 pencils last year. The first pencil I used in my early videos, when I look back at my videos, I'm just like, wow, they were way too dark. And the second pencil that I used during the summer was better. But I have to say, this eyebrow pencil is my holy grail eyebrow pencil. And it's the Clarins eyebrow pencil, and the color is in the light brown. It basically has the pencil there, and then the spoolie there. Don't know if you've noticed my brows, but they definitely have not been so dark and stark lately because I use this pencil and I like it a lot. And to kind of go with Clarins, I mentioned this in my very first favorites video. I often see YouTubers basically say, you know, all kohl pencils are the same. No, they're not. Because the Clarins waterproof eyeliner, to me, is the best waterproof eyeliner you could use that's in a pencil form. It goes on really creamy. It does not move. It does not smudge. If you look at my eye makeup, it is now almost midnight. And I did my makeup at about a little after 2 o'clock. So I know it's been only 9 hours, but my skin is extremely oily. And with like regular eyeliners, after a couple hours, I begin to have like panda eyes. And this has been really the main eyeliner that I've used around my eyes for the last 4 years. So it is a bit more expensive, but to me, it's worth every single penny. I don't really like to fuss with liquid liner. I'm not really a fan of gel liner. So this is going to be the eyeliner that I use for the rest of my life. And as you can see, I am starting to get low on it. And to kind of go with eyeliner, this is kind of like the drugstore dupe for that Clarins eyeliner. And it's so teeny tiny. But this is the Pixie Silky Endless eyeliner pencil, I think it's called. It's sold at Target. It's by Pixie Beauty, and I think it costs $15, which I know is a bit much. But this is pretty much the closest dupe to the Clarins waterproof pencil. It goes on really opaque. It doesn't wear as well as this, but if you watch my November favorites video and you watch like the segment where I talk about this, I kind of fast forward to the future, like after I was done filming, so a good couple hours, you know, after I initially filmed me like swatching it, and I kind of show you how it stays on in that video, but like violently rubbing my hand and then showing how it doesn't move. This doesn't work as perfectly like this, but it's pretty darn close. So I think the Clarins pencil retails for $23.50. This is $15, so it's a lot cheaper. And the last eye product I'm going to talk about is actually the NYX Jumbo pencils. And the one that I'm mainly going to, or the only one I'm going to show you, is the one that I really use for a lot of the year, is 627, which is Cobalt, which is just the blue pencil. These are really cheap. You can buy them at Ulta. I think they retail regularly for like $5 or $6, but if you catch them on a sale, you usually get like buy one get one half off. But these, you know, they're great to use as a liner, great to use as a base. I do find when I use this on my lids, if I go too far up on the crease, they can crease after a few hours, but you know, it's drugstore, so what do you expect? But I do mostly use this on my bottom waterline. Whenever I do like a smoky eye and I want to pop a color, this is what I use. And now let me move on to lip makeup products. And then 3 of the items are the same, but they're the Revlon lip butters. I own, I think, 7 of these, and I've bought an 8th one recently. But these are great. They're very opaque. They go on like a liquid glossy lipstick almost. Now, I know for some people, they cause the lips to peel or to dry out. With me, they don't, because I do put on a lip balm before I put these on. But these were the 3 that I wore the most, and I'm sure they're going to look completely disgusting. If you look at my past videos, and if you're ever wondering, like, what do I have on my lips, I always note it in the description box at the bottom. So if I had like a dark red lip, it was probably this, which is Red Velvet. This next one is a bright kind of, oh my god, this looks disgusting. Yeah, you can definitely tell that I've worn the crap out of this one. This is like a lilac, yeah, like a lilac color. And I actually do have a Revlon lip butter review video. So if you're interested in learning more about these, I'll link it below. And then this last one looks just as nasty as the purple one, but this is Creamsicle, which is a nice like peachy nude. These next 2 lip products are higher end. This first one I got in one of my New Beauty test tubes, and this is, I think this is the Mally High Shine Liquid Lipstick and Blossom. It's basically a lip moisturizer. She says it's like 5 things in one: a lip balm, lipstick, gloss, lip primer, and lip liner, I think. It's a nice, kind of a mauve color with gold shimmer. And you know, you twist it, and it has the brush applicator. And then this, I do plan on doing a video on the new Clinique Chubby Stick Intenses, because I own 3 of these. But this is the Clinique Chubby Stick Intense. And it's in Curviest Caramel, which is a nice neutral kind of nude color. And this is actually what I have on my lips right now, with a Buxom lip gloss over the top of it. But these, I've never owned a Revlon Kissable Balm Stain stick thing that kind of looks like this, but I'm assuming that these are probably like the higher end version, but not quite as outrageously expensive as the Tarte ones. But these actually stain the lips, and they're very moisturizing, and you know, I could wear this and eat and not have to reapply, so I absolutely love these. The next category I'm going to talk about are cheek makeup products, and the first one's a blush. And this is actually like the refill tester pan that I own. But this is a Lancome blush, and it's in Shimmer Pink Pool. As you can see, I've hit pan on it, but it's a really pretty pink color, and it does have some shimmers in it, but the shimmers are not noticeable at all. And then this last cheek product I got in a Beauty Army box, and it's the Besame Crimson Rouge for rosy lips and cheeks, and this is just basically how the sample looks, and then that's how the stain looks. But this is basically for my everyday makeup routine. I use this as a base for my blush, and then I layer, you know, my powder blush on top of it. But I really do like this. It lasts for most of the day, and I have oily skin, as you can probably tell, and it's never like irritated me or made me break out. And the last two makeup products that I'm going to talk about are for the face, and this first one is the bronzer that I used for the majority of the year, and this is by Lancome, and it's the Tropiques Mineral Smoothing Press Bronzer SPF 15 and Natural Sun Bath. And I actually just completely used this thing completely up last month. I've had this for like 2 or 3 years. It was a nice matte bronzer. I began to use it to contour with last month, and it just goes on very naturally, very smooth. And for my olive tan complexion, it just worked great as a contouring bronzer. And I don't really know if I should show this, because this is a brand that doesn't exist anymore, and you can find it or order it off of Amazon. But the creator of this has now come out with YBF Your Best Friend Cosmetics, but this is the brand of makeup that she had before YBF, and it's called Models Prefer. And this is a Correct Lighten, Hide, and Sculpt Concealer Quad. And as you can see, practically all the green's gone, but I do use this light one to contour with, and these two to kind of help camouflage acne. But this concealer quad worked fantastic, especially during the summer when I was breaking out a lot. And it goes on really creamy, blends into the skin very well. That is it for the makeup category. Now, if you're only interested in makeup products, you can basically stop watching now. But I'm going to move on to the next, to me, most interesting category, and it's going to be nail polish. Okay, basically with nail products, it shouldn't be a surprise the brand that stands out the most. But before I get into that brand, let me show the two other cameos, I guess, if you will, that played a big part with my nails through 2012. I will link this video below, but this product basically saved my nails, because my nails, before I started using this, were very weak. They broke really easily, they cracked. My nails would always be random different lengths because they just could not grow out and be uniform. But since I used this product, ordered this for my very first beauty box, like, subscription service that I ever, like, got into, which was Beauty Fix, this has completely changed my nails. And I've had to pass this information along to so many of you guys, because my video, How to Grow Long, Strong, Healthy Nails, I think is the most popular video on my channel. And I've had people tell me that they, like, bought it after watching my video, and it completely, like, changed their lives forever when it comes to their nails. But I actually do know some people personally who went and bought the product because they heard me praise it, and it did the same thing for them. But it's the Nailtiques Formula 2 Nail Protein. This stuff I use as the base coat for underneath my fingernails, and, you know, my nails are often something that I'm asked about. You know, my nails are genuine, they're real, they grow so fast, and I just thank the Lord Jesus that I found this stuff. Now this specific product, they have two different types of packaging. I'll insert the picture of one other type of packaging that they package. Just need you to fix me up, but Nailtiques, I think it comes in 3 different sizes. If you're not happy with your nails, if you can't grow them, if they're too weak and they seem to break all the time, invest in this product. You will not regret it. And then this next thing I'm going to show you is a polish, and it's the only polish that technically I've used by this brand through 2012, even though I have purchased some more recently. But it's the Color Club polish. I got this in one of my Birch boxes, and it's in the color Blooming. This color is absolutely beautiful. It's the most beautiful mint color you can ever imagine, and on my tan complexion, it just glowed. When I wore this, I heard every single day compliments from people, which is how beautiful this color was. If you follow me on Instagram, and if you go to like my older pictures, you can actually see a swatch photo of this. I don't know if the swatch photo is still up on my blog. If you go to my blog, which is always linked in the down bar of my randomosity, on the right sidebar towards the bottom, I have like nail of the day type pictures, and I have like a ton of pictures of all the different nail looks that I've had. They're labeled, so you could try to go on there and see if it's on there. But yeah, blooming, such a beautiful color. And of course, this last nail brand that I'm going to talk about shouldn't be a surprise, but it's all Julep products. And before I get into like my 6 favorite polishes from 2012, I'm going to show, I guess this is like a manicure product, but it's their quick drop polish drops with vitamin E and lavender. Basically, after I paint my nails, I drop 2 to 3 drops of this on each fingernail. This stuff softens my cuticles, but it helps allow my polish to dry a lot faster. Without any type of top coat or any type of quick dry stuff, the Julep polishes, they tend to be fully dry after an hour. But when I use this, they're normally dry after 20 minutes. Is the Crackle polish that I got in October, and the color is Glenda. You're probably going to see a pattern that I tend to like metallic polishes. This one I got in August or July. I don't remember. But this is a metal metallic finish, and it's a silver metallic, and it's in Harley. This next one I got in that same box. Absolutely beautiful. It probably has to be like my most favorite out of all of these, and it's another metallic finish, and this one is Sienna, and it's this beautiful, like, not quite like a out there like yellow gold color. It's almost like a silvery gold, if that makes sense. But this, when I wore this, it practically like glowed on my nails. This next one I actually have currently on my toes, and it's, yet again, another metallic finish. And this is Fina, and I don't think this one's available on Julep anymore. But it's a beautiful, like, sky blue metallic, or maybe more of an ice blue. Yeah. And this next one totally doesn't go with all these metallic, you know, cool ones I've showed you. But I wore this on my toes recently. Just thought it really complemented my skin tone well. But this is Nisi, and it's just a creamy, hot pink maybe. And this last one is actually the first Julep polish I ever wore. It's a holographic, like, opalescent shade, and this one is Melissa. And this one is just absolutely gorgeous. When I wore this one, it just, I know I said some of the other colors like glowed. This one truly glowed. It was very, very reflective. And with any light hit it, it looked like my nails were like lit up or something. Okay, so the next category I'm going to do is hair. And this actually includes 2 that I just ran out of within the last couple of weeks. The Monoi mask, you've heard me talk about it countless times in my last empties video and in my past favorites video. The Monoi line with Carol's daughter is specifically for anyone who's concerned that their hair isn't healthy, that it's damaged, that it's breaking off, or not growing as fast as it should. Your hair is supposed to grow a ½ inch every month, so 1 inch every 2 months, 6 inches a year. So if you feel like your hair is not growing, obviously the things that you put on your hair is not helping it. And Monoi mask, when you use it with the Monoi shampoo, after the first use, you're supposed to see, I think, 96% less breakage. It's fantastic. My hair gets really tangled really easily. I do have a relaxer, and this is basically how my hair looks when I don't style it, when I don't press it out or blow dry it or put rollers in it. And losing my train of thought. And when I use a Monoi mask, while I'm in the shower, I can just run my fingers through it. a fantastic deep conditioning mask. It is expensive. It's $29, but it's totally worth it. Now, the Carol's Daughter Heat Protection Gloss. You're supposed to use it before you put any type of heat on your hair. It protects your hair from burning. It also contains macadamia oil, which is supposed to be really good for your hair, which I believe it is. I basically use it as a moisturizer and also as an anti-frizz agent because it reminds me of BioSilk Silk Therapy and the Chi Silk Infusion. A little goes a long way. It has hydrolyzed silk, so it leaves my hair soft. I love it, and it actually does help control the frizz. On to day 2 filming. This next hair product is the Chewy Moisturizing Leave-In. Now that I use as a leave-in when I wash my hair, but I also use it as a daily refresher, which is very important because I only wash my hair maybe twice a week at the most, at least once a week. And so, you know, I'm active, I run and stuff, and my hair can get kind of stinky. But because I use that Chewy leave-in, it actually deodorizes, it balances the oil, and it leaves my hair smelling really good. But it also prevents my hair from getting like overly greasy from all the moisturizers that I put in it. So I love it as a daily hair refresher. Since I'm on a Carol's Daughter roll, I'll go ahead and show this. This is the Carol's Daughter Macadamia Hold and Control Smoother. This is like a mix of a gel, a wax, and a pomade. But it's not a gel because it doesn't contain anything that's going to dry out your hair like a lot of alcohol. This stuff, a little goes a long way, but it will smooth your hair back, lay down your edges. If you're pulling your hair back, like I probably could have definitely used it today, but I did not put it in my hair today. But it holds your hair in place without making it hard, without drying it out, without making it feel crispy like you put a gel on it. This stuff is fantastic, and you can actually style with this. If you have a shorter hairstyle where you blow dry it, where you do it like sticking up and messy, kind of like how Rihanna's hair was like back in the umbrella days, it will actually hold your hair, you know, if you do like a pompadour or anything like that, but leave it feeling soft. The next category I'm going to do is skincare. And the tube is a lot longer than this. I cut my tube, so that's why it looks tiny. But this is the Olay Professional Pro X Deep Wrinkle Treatment. This stuff I ran out of about a week ago, and I already see a difference. This, on me, seems to work the best around my eye area, where I get bags from being an insomniac. But this is something that you're supposed to use all over the face. But again, I don't really have a lot of wrinkles on my face yet. It's supposed to produce the natural production of collagen, which I do believe this actually did work really well on my under eye area for bags, which I'm shocked about because I don't really invest in a lot of drugstore skincare. But I do feel like within the last week, I have seen a difference with my under eye bags. So this is something that I definitely will be repurchasing. And then the next three things are all Clinique. And this first one is filthy. And I actually have the full size one in the bathroom. But it's the Clinique 7-Day Scrub. Now this scrub is actually for people with dry skin, because it contains oil, and the beads that are inside of it are not as harsh as the ones in the exfoliating scrub, which is for oily skin. But this stuff, it works perfectly fine. It's the main not the only exfoliator that I've been using, but this has been the most repurchased exfoliator that I've used. It's gentle enough that you can use it daily, and it just does a really great job of getting the dead skin off my face when I use it. And these next two things I'm very thankful for. The Clinique Acne Solutions Clarifying Lotion and the Clinique Acne Solutions Clearing Moisturizer. If you watch any of my videos from between, I would say, June and like October, I had a lot of breakouts. I technically still do, but a lot of them are healing and they're not as bad. But I broke out each week with large cystic acne. Some that would be underneath the surface, but they would hurt so bad, and then some that would actually be raised, and you could see them in my videos. I had some videos where I had like 2 on my forehead, 1 here, a triangle on this cheek. It was horrible. But once I started using these, the Acne Solutions line, mainly these 2 products, in mid-September, this stuff completely changed my skin for the better and made all that nasty stuff just go away. Now, I thought I was done filming my 2 days worth of footage, but then I realized after I washed my face, and yes, I have absolutely no makeup on, and I'm in my PJs about to get into bed, that I forgot one of my skincare favorites. But it's the Chella Enzyme Exfoliating Cream and Mask. Besides the Clinique 7-Day Scrub, this has to be another favorite exfoliator slash mask, because this contains lactic acid, and what that means is when you put it on your face, you don't scrub, you don't do anything, you let it sit for at least 10 minutes, and the acid basically eats up all the dead skin. If you have any acne scarring or wounds or scratches on your face, you will feel a slight burning. Now, the next category I'm going to quickly try to go through is tools. And the next thing I'm about to show you is Filthy. You never see videos on this because this brand is just not popular. At least not anymore. But I used to be a member or an IBO with Amway Quickstar, which is I can't even think of what it's referred to. But they have a cosmetic line, and I think it's still operating. And the cosmetic line is called Artistry. And this little kit, which is Filthy, is the first set of makeup brushes that I ever got for myself. Oh, I would say back in 2008. So 5 years ago. And so I've had these makeup brushes for 5 years. And this is the case, the carrying case that they come in. And these are the main 4 that I still use, and I'm sure they're filthy. I did wash these, maybe about a week ago. But, I think this brush set includes, this powder brush, blush, brow eyeshadow brush, and this crease brush. And also, an eyebrow spoolie and a lip brush, and it's like $60 or $70, which I know is a bit much for these brushes being as simple as they are. But these brushes are 5 years old. I've treated them like crap, and one of them just started shedding, the powder brush, recently. But these, they work excellent. If you watch my makeup tutorials, I'm usually using these or the long comb brushes that I have. But these are a definite 2012 favorite. And actually, this next brush is a long comb brush, and this is a brush that I use daily. They have new brushes now that are all black. This is like the old school ones, and as you can see, or maybe you'll be able to see the paint chipping. But this is the long comb number 17 eyeshadow blending brush. But this is my ultimate, really the only blending brush that I use, and it works fantastic. It's the Beauty Blender Cleanser. That is what the Beauty Blender Cleanser looks like. I use it to clean my Beauty Blender, which I love, and also my makeup brushes, and that cleanser works fantastic. I believe it's oil-based, and it gets everything off of whatever I'm washing. And it almost seems to me that my brushes, they dry a lot faster whenever I use that cleanser. But that brush cleanser is excellent. And then the Beauty Blender. I have only used this to put my foundation on since the day that I bought it, and I hauled this back in my mini Birchbox / Amazon haul. I believe that was back in May of last year. So for the last 8 months, this is what I've used to put my foundation on. I do have a video on how to use this, which I'll link below. It's fantastic. I mean, you guys have seen my face close up. It endlessly blends my foundation, so I don't ever have the lines. It never looks streaky. And then I do use this to blend in my under eye concealer. I know it's probably about to die soon, but whenever it does, I will be buying another one. Okay, so I gotta include my Japanese caboodle. I think I debuted this in my July favorites, and I am definitely still using it. And whenever I have to travel anywhere, this is what I take. Whenever I have to do like freelance work or anything like that, this is what I bring with me. So there's that. Now the last beauty related category I guess I'm going to get into before I get into the random stuff is going to be body. And this first thing is mainly the main fragrance that I've been wearing for most of 2012. Since I first showed this, I think in my May favorites. And it's the Jessica Simpson Fancy perfume. If you want to hear the story that I have to tell about this, on why this is a favorite of mine, then definitely watch my May favorites, which I'll link down below. But this perfume, I normally don't like celebrity fragrances because to me they all smell the same. And I normally don't really like vanilla because I feel like it's such a strong scent. But this fragrance just works with my body chemistry. I always get compliments when I wear this. And then the last two are deodorants. And if you're a subscriber of mine, you've heard about these two. Yes, this is a men's deodorant. The Axe 24-hour antiperspirant and deodorant invisible solid. This stuff works great. I love the Phoenix scent, to be more specific.